So today I'm doing something really different. I actually thought about creating a video that tells you guys a little bit more about me because I believe in creating a sense of community so that people who follow me have some sort of connection with me, of course, and hoping to, you know, meet new friends along the way. This is a little bit out of nowhere and awkward. Nobody asked me to do this, but here I am. But yes, today I'm here in front of the camera. I'm not wearing any makeup, just skincare. I decided to be really just raw because I feel like whenever I do these videos, it's a lot more fun. But another thing you may notice that my eyelashes are currently in rehab because I'm just getting over false extensions. So a lot of my real ones probably fell out and new ones are growing right now, so I look like a naked mole rat. But I wrote some points for you guys today that I wanted to go through to kind of quickly introduce myself. So I'm gonna kind of read them from my laptop. I am full Asian. I'm not Asian American. I just happen to be like an international person. I'm from Thailand. I live in Bangkok, but the past almost 2 months I've been spending time outside of the city as of right now because things are a little crazy in Bangkok, as I'm sure the rest of the world are, but things are slowly getting worse for us here in Thailand. But that's like a topic for a whole other video if that is something that people actually want to talk about. You want to compartmentalize sometimes you want to disassociate just to kind of get out of that craziness. And on top of that, what kind of triggered me to make this video today, because I wasn't feeling so good today. I actually received bad news today. Nobody died, nobody's sick, but it's bad news. It's a bit of a setback for me, and I kind of have to replan what I'm going to be doing for the rest of the year. And I'm like, you know what, why not? Let's film this video because I've been dying to film it for the longest time, and I wanted to do it raw. So, you know, not feeling 100%, no makeup, and I'm wearing like a soccer mom outfit today, you guys. So, but here we are. First and foremost, my skin type. I'm gonna start with that first. I am dry skin, always have been, and probably always will be. And as you get older, your skin does tend to dry out, so it's probably gonna get even worse. I am dry skin with a dehydration as skincare concerns, mainly because growing up, I wasn't really like much of a water drinker. Like, of course, I drank water when I was really thirsty, but it wasn't something where I was like, I have to drink 8 glasses a day. It wasn't something that was embedded into my mind. It wasn't something that I was programmed to, because growing up, my mom also is a terrible water drinker, even till today. I drink more than her now, and I had to get her to drink water, which is kind of ridiculous. So with that being said, a lot of the skincare and makeup products that I use are really catered for dry skin, or the way that I make it work for my skin is to nourish my dehydrated, like desert skin. Now, it's not too dry because I've been taking care of it really well for the past couple of years, and I drink more water. I'm on a first name basis with my dermatologist, whom I've been going to since maybe I was 17. She happens to be my mom's childhood best friend as well. Like, they grew up together and they're still friends today, so I'm very lucky. I haven't seen her for a couple of months, so I do feel like my melasma is a little bit more visible, but I take care of that super well as well. As for my hair type, I am naturally curly hair, thick curly hair. Most Asians have thick hair, but mine is, the kicker is that it's also naturally curly. Now, my entire family, especially immediate family, we all have naturally curly hair. My parents have natural curly hair, and they're, you know, of course, from separate families, and come together, and then they made me and my brother. My brother has a similar type of curly hair as my dad, but his is gearing towards afro, which is wild and insane. You don't expect that from an Asian boy, but he's an adult. He's not. We all have curly hair. It's all different. And my brother and I actually, we currently share hair products except shampoo and conditioner, but we share like hair oils, hair serums, hair curl cream, curl mousse, curl gel. We share all these things, which is, it saves a lot of money, but the products run out really quickly. So with curly hair comes with dryness. So I actually happen to love humidity for my curly hair. I feel like it really makes it extra curly. Like when I was living in the West, my hair wasn't as curly, and whenever I'm like, I have curly hair, people were like, they didn't believe me. And that was like, I don't know, that really, it screwed around with my ego. I was like, no, it's just that because we're not in a humid country right now. And then I guess for them, it's like, well, since you're not in a humid country and the standard is dry, therefore your hair is not curly. I'm like, you don't know what my hair looks like in humidity. I've learned how to handle my hair in humidity, so if anyone has naturally curly hair in a dry country and they come here, I have it way better handled. So I guess that's where I'm a bit better than everybody when it comes to that. I do put a lot of hair products on, but I genuinely like it, and I don't feel like it's heavy. I don't feel like it's a lot for my hair. My hair is pretty healthy for what it is. I see my hairstylist maybe once or twice a year to get that annual trim because I really like my long hair. I only ever get really driven to like get an emergency haircut if it gets to a point where I put my hair up in a bun or in a pony and it gets so heavy that it gives me a headache. That's a sign. And actually for the past couple months I've been feeling that, but I just kind of refuse to go. Also because with the lockdown in Bangkok, it's kind of impossible to do anything right now. I know that you can get a haircut right now, but it's just like I cannot be bothered to do that, if you know what I mean. I haven't colored my hair since maybe sophomore year in college. I like my hair natural. I like it for what it is. I absolutely love my hair. If you guys have the same skin type and hair types, skincare concerns, hair concerns as me, I guess this is our little community. And if you have any tips and tricks on what you do with your skin and your hair, please interact with me. I love talking to people who like find me. Now we're gonna get into brands. I do have a tendency to preferring any type of brand, especially when it comes to skincare and beauty brands that are created by doctors or dermatologists, sometimes estheticians. Now, again, the other side of this conversation in science is that just because it's medically backed or dermatologist made doesn't mean that it's actually always great for you either or was well done, because there's a lot of brands out there that does a lot of greenwashing and pinkwashing and all that stuff. So you really have to navigate the beauty industry on your own terms, whatever your principles, your morals, or your beliefs are, or what you just prefer, or what your skin or your hair prefers. That is like, it's super personal. Like, when I say that, I think not a lot of people understand how much of an understatement that sentence is, where skincare is super personal. I recently actually watched a video on Susan Yara's YouTube channel, which is her new series where she gets her whole team to try on different types of sunscreens and SPFs and sunblocks, and her team consists of Caucasians, African Americans to like mixed race, so people can really show you what it looks like and how it feels on different people. And one of the things that I noticed and that I love seeing is that two of her team members, who are both African American, they were trying on this, I believe it was a mineral sunscreen, which leaves maybe a tad bit of white cast or not really. One loved it, while the other hated it, yet they're both black. So again, it's personal, right? Like, even if like there's a lot of sunscreens out there that can leave white cast even on me, because I'm not fair skin, I'm tan. I think I'm a nice light medium tan, kind of warm olive. I don't really know the difference between warm and olive undertones, but here we are. Things can also appear super white on my face. In fact, there's a sunscreen that I have, well, it's more like an anti-aging cream that I use, and it's ridiculously super white on my face. It's disgusting. I do not wear it outside. I wear it when I'm inside the house, or I actually have been using it to maybe like mix with my darker foundations to make it like my current shade, and it works beautifully. So again, skincare, beauty is so personal. It's not one race can't use a certain thing. It's just personal. It's individuals only, and that's just what it is. In terms of beauty brands that are created by makeup artists, like people who you know, are not doctors. I'm totally for brands that are made by seasoned and professional makeup artists. Like sometimes they're celebrities, sometimes they're events, sometimes they're editorial. But of course, I don't support them all by buying them all, because sometimes I can't purchase them all. You know, it's just too much money. You don't need all of that. But I do have some favorites. I just kind of prefer them because I feel like they've been in the industry for so long. They know what works. They know what people like. Yes, it's kind of gearing towards like people are just jumping on the bandwagon now to have a brand, but I really do feel like I just trust them from the vibe that I get, and also from testing out their products and reading the reviews or watching reviews from beauty bloggers that I have been following for years and love and trust, because we have the same tastes, similarities, skin types, or whatnot. So that's pretty much where I stand on that. In terms of skincare brands, I actually have a special place in my heart for Japanese and Korean skincare brands. And now hear me out. When they formulate or when they create their products, the baseline meaning the standard that they assume your skin type of the consumer will be, the baseline is sensitive skin. Therefore, anyone can use their products, right? At the end of the day, we go back to skincare is personal. You can be super sensitive, you use a product, you can still get irritated, you can still get a reaction. It depends on you. But the majority of it is that it's created for people with sensitive skin versus Western skincare brands who the baseline is normal skin. So that's why a lot of people over the years have found their love for Korean or Japanese skincare brands versus the ones that they can get at home in the West, because they're just so sensitive to it, while having to find things curated and made for sensitive skin is just maybe sometimes harder, more scarce, or more expensive. So that is why I love Japanese and Korean skincare brands so much. And not only that, it's light, it's really hydrating, and since they're Asian brands and I'm Asian, it's what's created for my skin, basically. Even though I'm not even East Asian, I'm Southeast Asian, there are similarities there. Now we're gonna get to a topic that I love and hate to talk about. Among my friends, I am basically the beauty queen, but most of all, I am the skincare and sunblock queen. There's a child running in front of my house. I'm just worried that it's by itself. Oh, okay, there is a parrot. Okay, on sunscreen. With a lot of the boom that's been going on the past couple years with sunscreen, which is really great, but it's also really sad to see that the majority of people have like never been into the whole sunscreen thing. And I'm not saying that it's a trend, it's actually like a necessity. Again, it's personal, it depends on you, you know, whatever you believe in. I feel like if you don't wear it, like if you don't wear it as much as you're supposed to, you will, you know, have more skin issues than other people who do wear it more religiously. I'm not gonna hate anyone who doesn't wear sunscreen, but I am concerned for them. But technically, if you must know, I wear sunscreen all day, every day, and I do reapply, both for my scalp, my hair, my face, and my entire body. And so that means I do have a lot of SPF products in my arsenal, and I have to buy them a lot. So majority of the money that I do spend does go to skincare and SPF, and then there's like makeup and stuff, which is also a huge love of mine, but it is something that I spend less than skincare. There actually has been a lot of SPF brands that I'm not even gonna mention because just there's so many. First, it started off in the Korean community, and now it's even in the West community of SPF brands that have come out having to either recall or getting their products retested by an independent lab due to just basically the mishap of the SPF. For example, there may be an SPF product that says it's SPF 50, but then it turns out the actual efficacy of the SPF is actually 19. And I believe that was the case for Purito, which is a Korean brand. Now, this, just because it's Korean doesn't mean it's because Asian brands suck. In their case, I believe it was the manufacturers who were at fault. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a while since I've read this, but I remember at the time it was due to the manufacturers who lied to the brand, and this has happened to actually a lot of other brands too. A huge lawsuit in New York City where the factory / manufacturer of several brands have been lying to the brands, or the brands knew and they were just trying to save money. I don't remember the details of this, but basically they've been lying to people since like I think the 70s for the course of 50 years. I have to, if I do the math correctly, yeah, almost 50 years of people using products thinking that they were supposed to work as it's labeled. That's a lot of That's a lot of diseases that people could have gotten because of them. The lawsuit was a lot of money. I think it was in billions. Skin cancer, melanoma, which is basically a type of skin cancer, I believe. So many skin diseases. You need to find the one that works for you. And because with all that's been happening, I've actually been gearing more towards Australian sunscreen brands since last year. I found so many that I can get here in Thailand, and I've been falling in love with them, and I've been slowly incorporating them into my daily routine, which is, there's ultraviolet, which I love for my face. I love the Queen Screen, it's a serum one. And then We Are Feel Good Ink, which is another Australian SPF brand, and I like the big tub ones that with the pump for the body, and I wear it every day. But another brand that I also love is Supergoop. They may be American. So many people are showing up to my mom's house. Messengers, post office, housekeepers. I'm really loving the Australian sunscreen brands, mainly because they have the worst and the strongest UV ray index in the world. If I'm using the terminology incorrectly, please let me know. But that's basically the case. The case where if you wear flip-flops or you leave it out on the streets, like maybe not in the city, or maybe it is the city. If you leave it, it will literally melt onto the ground. Australian sunscreens are, I think, probably right now the best in the world. And if anyone is like looking to find new ones, I think they're the ones that you could really perhaps research and find the ones that you like. There are some things out there which I think people would shoot me for, but here's an unpopular opinion. There has been a lot of things about blue lights and reef safe. Now, I follow a lot of scientists, not just dermatologists, not just like skin doctors, but I also follow chemists and people who work in labs who formulate like products for brands. So these are the type of scientists that brands have to hire to help literally like make their stuff, right? So either sometimes it's a whole agency where it's a whole lab of scientists, or they hire individuals and they come with their team. Now, how this works technically and specifically, I do not know. I'm not a doctor of any kind. I'm just an avid consumer who studies and reads a lot, and I take everything with a grain of salt, as you all should too with my video, right? And the whole thing with the blue light and the reef safe thing, I think that's BS. From everyone that I follow with a PhD degree, who's actual doctors, all said blue light is like, it's a thing, but it's not as harmful as the light that's coming through the window that I'm sitting in front of. Like, you can be sitting in a room at night and you're still getting even a little bit of UV rays from your light bulb, and I think those are it has to be LED ones. So you don't necessarily have to wear sunscreen at night, but there's the only time you're ever really safe from UV rays is in complete darkness. Now, for somebody who's like crazy about sunscreen like I am, you can imagine how much sunscreen I wear throughout the day until it's nighttime. But do you need to worry? No, you don't. Not really. Same thing, I actually once talked to a Warby Parker employee when I was buying a new pair, and they said that he told me that he learned at Warby Parker that blue light actually doesn't affect your eyesight. So I don't know where this trend is coming from. It must be a marketing thing. Now, shoot me, I don't know. I listen to every side of things, right? People who say blue light's a thing and people who say blue light's a thing, but it's not that harmful. So that's just my take on it. And here's another thing. The best sunscreen for you is the one that you will use. You know, brands and scientists can't force consumers to wear certain types of sunscreen that they know is actually best for people, because there's so many out there. So the only best way to protect you from UV rays is the one that you will actually use. If you found one that you love, whether or not it's chemical, physical, mineral, whether or not it's SPF 30, 40, 50, 70, 100, doesn't matter, wear it. In fact, there's other scientists out there that actually claims that the normal person will not reapply their sunscreen throughout the day. So even SPF 50 is not enough, especially if you live in a hot country like Thailand. In fact, if you are not applying enough, meaning you're not applying 1/4 of a teaspoon or however much that you're supposed to be applying, like the 2-3 finger method like I do, you might as well wear an SPF 100 to basically double down on the protection that could help you, if that makes any sense. Yes, you do need to wear sunscreen inside, and if you're inside, you should be wearing at least SPF 30. Now, the guest room that I sleep in, it's all windows and there's no like blackout curtains. So if I'm sitting in this room all day, SPF 30 might not even be enough. I religiously reapply my sunscreen even over makeup, and I do that with a makeup sponge, which I did a video on my IGTV, so I can link that for you guys down below if you guys want to see how I do that. And you can do that with your choice of sunscreen. Just make sure that your makeup sponge is dry. In terms of SPF sprays or powder, those are the things that I use to kind of also help maybe set my face or my hair, my scalp. It's something that I use to reapply. It's a lot easier. Supergoop has setting powders. So many other brands have setting powders. And I know that Supergoop also has a setting mist with SPF 40. So if you need to reapply, but you still need to kind of make sure that it really dabs in, because it's not the same as like reapplying with your fingers. In terms of what kind of sunscreen I love, I actually don't mind if it's chemical, physical, or mineral. I do tend to kind of bring the minerals and physicals with me when I go to the beach, because I just feel like it works a bit more. But I mean, my dermatologist said it doesn't matter. It actually doesn't matter. It's the same. I like chemical for every day, especially underneath makeup. But in terms of like texture, white cast, I actually don't mind it at all. I make products work for me, whether or not it's SPF, skincare, or makeup. If I try super hard to make it work and it still doesn't work, then that means I know that this product's not for me. But for example, if there's an SPF that I have that gives me super white cast, I don't wear it outside with no makeup on. If I'm putting on makeup, that's also fine. So that's where my stance is, like, it doesn't really matter what the texture or what the color it is on my face. I make every single product work for me. And that's how you can also really save money on things you spend, especially if you can't return it, which in Thailand, return policies are not as cool as it is in the West, where like if you try something and it doesn't work and you can't return it because it's been opened or things like that. I don't do this to like get attention. I just really have opinions that tend to be a little bit more different than the mainstream. Sometimes there's no such thing as clean beauty. There may be, but it's not even approved by the FDA. The FDA is, yes, it's considered, you know, the American standards of like consumer drug products type of things. I can't even explain that. Clean beauty, I believe, is just another marketing tactic. I'm saying this, but I'm not going to eat my words, given that I've worked with brands in the past and even like, you know, use and post about brands that I love that claims to be clean. Now, just because I don't believe that it's clean doesn't mean that I don't like the product. So that's where my stance is. And I think that brands who continue to claim that is just kind of, I don't know. It's a gray area that we still need to explore. I'm not saying they're horrible, I'm not saying they're bad unless they, you know, they know for a fact that it's not clean. They're just saying that it is. But I remember that for you as a brand to be able to make it into the Sephora clean beauty section, you need to basically be able to take certain criterias. Because at one time I did the quiz for the Sephora Thailand app about like how much you know about clean beauty, and of course I got like 4 out of 5. And it was a lot of things where like no 12 ingredients that are considered not clean, like things like sulfates, parabens, silicone, blah 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 blah, and all that, alcohol, blah 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 blah, fragrance, essential oils. I don't remember. No single product or ingredient is bad. Here's the thing, this is what I learned, and you guys need to repeat this. The poison is in the dose. You can have alcohol, you can have preservatives, you can even have a type of silicone, like let's say dimethicone, in your product, but that doesn't make it bad for you. It depends on how much of it is in there, which is really similar to retinol. You have to start off at a certain percentage. Some products out there start with 0.1, 0.5, yada yada yada, until you get to 1%. Anything more than that is a little bit too much. Now, there's many types of forms of retinol. There's retinol palmitate, there's retin A, and how you build that up is depending on, you know, the product you use, percentage, how your skin is, and you also have to talk to your dermatologist. So with that being said, like any product, whether or not it's makeup, skincare, hair care, the poison is in the dose, you guys. Like alcohol is not all bad. Some products have to be formulated to hold a certain way with alcohol's help. There's even like encapsulated retinol, which is a lot easier to start with for new people who are just starting on retinol. And I get most of these from a scientist that I like to follow. Her handle is Lab Muffin Beauty Science. I'm gonna link all the doctors I follow down below for you guys. Like, you know, fragrance is also not bad. Essential oils aren't like all bad. It depends on if you're just allergic to it, if you're super sensitive. In terms of my preference of perfumes and fragrance, I actually am an oud girl, believe it or not. I love oud and musk. They're like my go-to even in the heat. But if I want to feel refreshing, I actually also love citrusy scents. So that's kind of like what I tend to smell like most of the time. It's either oud, musk, or citrusy. Just a little tidbit, I hate dark lips on me because I really like the size of my lips. The only thing I would ever consider getting is a lip flip with Botox, just to make it a little bit more poutier and maybe just kind of correct this, because I feel like a part of my lips is kind of like, it's not symmetrical, and I've actually had it fixed before with like a machine, so it doesn't last, but it works really well. So and a lot of brands always love to send me darker lips because it probably looks really good on me, but I really prefer not so dark lips, and I like to do colors with my eyes and things like that. But these are all really random facts about me in terms of the beauty industry. I hope you guys enjoyed this ridiculous rant that I made. Again, take everything with a grain of salt. These are just my opinion. It doesn't apply to anyone else in this world. It's just who I am as a person, whether or not you agree with all of it or you agree with some of it. If this is something that you like and you vibe with, you know, give me a shout out, follow, like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell button so that you always know when I upload. Thank you so much for sitting through this entire thing. I sincerely hope you and your family, no matter where you guys are okay. Meanwhile, I know that there's, like, you know, horrible things happening, and I'm in no way disregarding them. But there are times where you have to do things that makes you feel better. Like for me, it's beauty. I put makeup on, I wash my hair, I do my skincare, I make videos. Because it's a time for me to kind of relax, do like self-care. It's like, it's therapeutic. It's you have to sometimes compartmentalize things, and you have to disassociate, or else you're just gonna go insane. But then again, thanks again guys. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.